You're listening to the Cool Audio Podcast, your escape into the world of stories, sounds, and imagination. Whether you're driving, chilling at home, or just need a moment to unplug, we've got a story just for you. So sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. Jack nodded and didn't say anything else. His personality was just like this. It wasn't strange for him to be like this. Granny arched her back as she entered. She was carrying some vegetables and meat in her hands. Just like usual, he could not tell whether she was a dream creator. If it weren't for the fact that Justin had returned to the dream a second time and brought them so much information, Jack wouldn't have been able to think of a dream creator. Back then, he brought Granny and Liz home because of Chloe's promise. He felt that they had saved Chloe's life when they were escaping from Yunnan. Later on, Granny and Liz came to look for him and talked about Miaoji's sorcery. At that time, Jack had already believed her without a doubt. It was also because he missed his wife so much that he wanted to make an attempt, even if it did not work. Later on, Jack saw that his mother-in-law was quite capable, so he was very grateful to them. He wanted to make sure these two were safe after he rescued Chloe. However, after Justin mentioned the dream creators, Jack suddenly understood. If the Yunnan incident was fake, how could there be any Miaoji sorcerers? So, the two of them appearing out of nowhere and instigating Jack to go to the North Pole was a conspiracy? Jack really did not want to think of them as evil people. However, this was not the real world. They could be fictional or dream creators. The probability of them as real people entering the dream was almost zero. After all, the dream creators had spent so much effort and would not allow irrelevant people to enter the dream. Therefore, Jack came here with a heavy heart. However, it was unknown whether the grandmother and granddaughter didn't see through it, or if they did, but they pretended not to know. She was quite enthusiastic about Jack's arrival, especially the little girl. She was so happy that she wanted to cook and entertain Jack. The three of them sat at the table. Jack looked at the food on the table and didn't say anything. "Brother Jack, how's Sister Chloe doing?" "Very well." "Has the baby been born?" Liz asked again. "Not yet." "Huh? Are you serious? Didn't you say that it's past the due date? Why isn't she giving birth yet?" With chopsticks in her mouth, Liz looked innocent. Maybe she had been locked up there for too long and is in a bad mood. Plus, she's not feeling well, so her due date is delayed. Jack could only calmly find an excuse to explain to them. It's okay. Chloe is so lucky. Nothing will happen to her and the baby." When Granny smiled, she showed her teeth in a kind manner. Jack, on the other hand, began to think about when to make a move. The problem now was that he had to confirm that there was something wrong with them, that they were dream creators or were created by dream creators. Only then could Jack make his move. If their bodies didn't change after Jack killed them, it meant that they had really entered the dream. But the possibility of this was very small. Jack felt a little weird after killing James. Although he knew that James was a bad person, the feeling of killing someone was still very uncomfortable. Jack was different from Fiona. Fiona was used to killing, so she didn't feel anything. Jack wasn't used to this kind of tempo, but after hearing Justin's words, he realized that James was just like Layla, an illusion. So it was the same as not killing anyone. "Brother Jack, is something bothering you?" Upon seeing that Jack never smiled after entering, Liz asked curiously. While asking Jack, she also served him some wild vegetables with her chopsticks. She was really caring. "Liz, what are Grandma and your plans for the future?" Jack asked slowly. After Jack asked this question, Liz and Granny looked at each other with strange expressions. "Brother Jack, I'm planning to go to school in other city. My grandmother will be staying here. You and Chloe might have to take care of her more in the future, but I know you guys are busy and don't have time to come over often. Chloe is also going to have a baby soon, so you can hire a nanny to take care of my grandmother as it's inconvenient for her to move around. As for others, I haven't thought about them yet." Liz was sharp-tongued and immediately answered Jack's question. It was exactly as she had said before, without any flaws. "Yes, that's why I'm here today. Liz, come with me to the office in a while and fill out the school admission form. I've asked a friend to help you with your school matters." "Wow, that's fast. Thank you, Brother Jack. Liz smiled happily. Granny, on the other hand, kept her head down as she ate her food and did not reply. Granny, I went through some incredible things at the North Pole, Jack said. That's normal. That woman is a demon. Granny must be talking about Lynn. Granny, do you know Lynn? Jack's sudden question made Granny, who was about to pick up some food, tremble slightly. Dawson, your question is a bit foolish. Why would I know her? Granny denied all of this. However, Jack continued to ask, why did Lynn tell me that she knows you? After saying this, the look in Granny's eyes changed. She put down her chopsticks and glanced at Jack. Dawson, are you here today? To denounce me? Granny, since you're so resourceful, you should know that Lynn is dead. She did say something to me before she died. I didn't quite understand, so I came to ask you. I really don't know Lynn. How can you believe the words of a monster? Dawson, you look like a smart person. Why are you so muddle-headed? Are you going to believe the words of a bad person and not me? Clearly, the old woman refused to admit that she knew Lynn. Upon seeing this, Liz quickly explained on behalf of her grandmother. Brother Jack, no matter what, you can't misunderstand my grandmother. If my grandmother hadn't helped you find the location, you wouldn't even know where Chloe's sister was now. Did someone tell you something? You don't look like such a muddle-headed person. No, Jack said. Dawson, there are some things that I can tell from your divination. Recently, you have a young man by your side who has a good relationship with you. You believe everything he says. But have you thought about it? What if he's lying? What if he wants you to deal with me? You have to know that if I die, no one will be able to help you anymore. Jack remained silent. This granny was indeed not an ordinary person. Jack sucked in a breath of cold air. Obviously, she was trying to frame Justin. Dawson, you have to know that monsters are very powerful. Previously, even your wife could pretend to be exactly the same, so it's normal to pretend to be a friend of yours. In any case, don't believe what that person says. He's the one who will really harm you. Lynn is just a small fry. I predicted that there would be gossip this morning, and it seems like it's true. If you don't believe me, then go ahead and attack me. I'm just an old lady, I can't beat you, and I can't fight back either. The truth will reveal one's innocence. After speaking, the old lady tilted her head and counterattacked Jack. Liz also looked aggrieved. Brother Jack, don't be fooled by that lowly person. Grandma and I did so much for you, but you don't believe us? Upon hearing this, Jack clenched his fists. Seeing that Jack didn't say anything, the old lady made an even bigger move. When Jack wasn't paying attention, she picked up the metal fork on the table. Then, she prepared to pierce her own neck. Luckily, Jack was close enough to stop her in time. Otherwise, there would really be blood everywhere. Grandma, what are you doing? Liz was so frightened that her face turned pale. She stood up with a whoosh and rushed over to hug the old lady tightly. I've lived for so long, I've endured everything except being wronged. It's obvious that Dawson doesn't believe me. I can at least prove my innocence with my death, right? When the old madam said this, she was full of righteousness and unyielding character. It made Jack seem extremely unreasonable. Brother Jack, what are you doing? Do you really want to force my grandma to die? I might as well die with her. Then, Liz went to snatch the metal fork again. However, Jack dodged it. Liz, stop making a scene. It was my fault for suspecting Granny just now. I was bewitched by the despicable. I've already thought it through just now. Granny has helped me so much. How could she be an evil person? I was confused for a moment, so I apologized to Granny. Don't be angry at me. It's an unusual period. Too many things have happened recently, and my brain is really not working well. Seeing Jack's attitude soften, Granny and Liz looked at each other meaningfully. Then Granny eased up a lot. How could I blame you? Young people are young and full of vigor, so it's inevitable that they'll listen to the wind and rain. I can understand all of this, but I'm not trying to scare you. Let me tell you, Dawson, the man beside you who instigated you to suspect us, he's the one with evil intentions and wants to stir up trouble. If you don't get rid of him, you and your wife will be in endless danger in the future. Jack knew that the old woman was talking about Justin. Really? Granny? What should I do? Jack pretended to be serious. It's best if you just kill him. Of course, I know that this will be very difficult for you. After all, you are a kind-hearted child. But if you don't get rid of him completely, there will be endless trouble in the future. Your wife is about to give birth soon, so you should think about your family more. All right, I will remember your words. I will consider them carefully. All right, the old lady nodded. I'm almost done eating, so I'll head back first. Oh, right, Liz. Come with me and talk about the school matters. That person is still waiting at my company. Okay, Jack, I'll go with you. Grandma, you can sleep at home for a while. I'll be back soon. Liz then changed into a new set of clothes and happily followed Jack. When Jack and Liz came downstairs, the old lady was still standing behind the curtains upstairs, secretly watching them. Just now, she was almost exposed by Jack. Fortunately, she and Liz put on a pitiful act. Their acting successfully deceived Jack. Both Liz and Granny could tell that Jack's only flaw was that he wasn't ruthless enough. He always had compassion. That was why they had seized this opportunity to stir up trouble, but it was indeed useful. Not only did she get rid of Jack's suspicions about them, but she also targeted Justin, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. At the headquarters of the GK group. Brother Jack, where is that person? He's in the meeting room. I'll bring you there. Jack quietly led Liz to a small meeting room on the top floor. Jack opened the door for Liz like a gentleman and let her in. The young lady had just stepped in when she suddenly felt a chill on her waist. Then she turned around and looked at Jack in surprise. You... Before she could say anything, the pain in her waist caused her to frown even more. Jack locked the door and tightened his grip on the dagger. This time, the force was so strong that it almost pierced through the little girl's entire waist. Then, Jack suddenly pulled out his knife. Instantly, blood splattered everywhere. With a loud clang, Jack threw the dagger on the ground. Then he took out a white handkerchief from his pocket. He wiped his hands slowly and said, "You did a great job just now. If it was someone else, they might have been fooled by you. Since you can tell, why didn't you act against Granny?" Liz held on to the fatal wound on her waist and looked at Jack with a pale face. She was in disbelief. After all, she did not expect the plot to change so quickly. Jack looked up, stared into her eyes, and said word by word, "Why would I do that to Granny? After all, she's just a puppet, and you are the dream creator." "Ha! What are you talking about? I don't understand." Liz forced a smile. "You're about to die. Why are you still pretending?" Jack looked at the little girl ruthlessly. The moment she was caught off guard and attacked, Jack was already staking everything on her. And his instincts had always been sharp. When he first went to look for this pair of grandmother and granddaughter, he did intend to make a move on Granny. After all, killing the dream creator was the way to go. Once the dream creator died, the puppet would disappear, and cracks would appear in the dream world. Therefore, in the beginning, Jack thought that as long as he killed the old lady, Liz would be able to reveal herself. However, this plan changed after he got there. Jack meticulously discovered that Liz was a very pretentious person. She always looked innocent and harmless, and called him Brother Jack so sweetly. Those who did not know would really think that she was a cute little girl. However, Jack realized that every time the old lady spoke to Jack, she would intentionally or unintentionally exchange glances with Liz. Moreover, Jack had observed that the old lady was obviously afraid of Liz during their conversation. It seemed like a subordinate was asking for the leader's opinion. That gaze, Jack had seen this look at least 3 times at their place. Therefore, Jack changed his plan and didn't want to hurt the old woman. This way, he could beat them at their own game and eliminate their suspicions towards Jack. As expected, Liz wasn't on guard against Jack. That was why he had succeeded so easily. Jack always carried the dagger with him, and it was also when Liz entered the room that she was the least vigilant. As for the 2 of them trying to sow discord and make Jack suspect Justin, that did not exist. Justin risked his life to enter the dream for the 2nd time just to save everyone. How could Jack bear to doubt such an upright man? Seeing that Jack had guessed her identity, Liz decided not to pretend anymore. Instead, she sneered, "Genius, you are indeed worthy of your reputation. You are indeed not an ordinary person. However, do you really think that a dagger can kill me? Don't forget, in the dream, we are the dream creators. So what if you are a dream creator? Lynn was still killed by us. Jack's calm words angered Liz. That's because she's stupid. You guys plotted against her together. I won't go easy on you. Just wait and see. As Liz spoke, she formed a seal with her hands. Who knew what she was going to create? However, after she formed a seal, there was no reaction. It doesn't work anymore, does it? Jack sneered at her. Jack, what did you do to me? Liz's eyes were filled with fear. Actually, I didn't do anything. I just added something else to the dagger. How is it? It feels pretty good, right? It was only after Liz's hand seals failed that she became truly afraid. Jack, don't kill me. I'll send you out. Seeing that the situation was bad for her, Liz immediately negotiated with Jack. Her wound was still bleeding. Jack knew that when Liz said she was going to send him out, she meant she was sending him out of the dream. Oh? If you can send me out, what about my wife? My strength alone is limited. I can only send you and your wife out. What about the others? The rest of them can only leave it up to fate, Jack. Every man for himself. If you agree to it, we'll both benefit. If you don't, you might never get out of here and die in your dreams. Liz tried to coax and threaten Jack, but Jack didn't buy it. Asking Chloe and me to go out and leave everyone behind to die? This isn't my style. All of us have the same goal. Find all the dream creators and kill them. Lynn was the first, and you are the second. Then, Jack took out a silencer from behind him. Jack, you're going to regret this. Bang, bang, bang. 3 very weak thuds. 3 bloody holes appeared on Liz's chest. Then, she stopped breathing. After Liz died, her corpse turned into a pool of red blood. Justin had said before that this indicated that she was a dream creator. As for that old woman, there was no need to bother about her. As long as the dream creator died, the puppets would automatically collapse. It was just like how after Lynn died, Jack came back and found out that Layla, who was imprisoned by him, disappeared into thin air in that secluded villa. This was the best way to deal with dream creators. Then, Jack took a photo and sent Justin a message. Justin, you killed a dream creator? Jack, Justin, that old lady? Jack, no, it's her granddaughter Liz. Justin, that's really shocking. I didn't know that the big boss was a little girl. Jack, that's why your master said that dream creators are good at disguising themselves. Justin, that's right, they're really cunning. We need to be more careful. Out of the 4 dream makers, 2 are dead. It's only a matter of time before you guys leave the dreamscape. Jack, why did you say we are going to leave? What about you? As expected, Jack found the key point. Justin froze for a second before replying, Are you stupid? Of course I'm going back with you guys. Jack, Justin, no matter what it is, let's solve it together. Don't hide it from us. Justin, okay, stop acting like we're lovers. I can't stand it. Jack, although 2 dream creators have died, our future circumstances are becoming more and more difficult. Lynn was our enemy on the surface, and Liz and Granny were intruders from outside, so it was easy to guess. And now, there are 2 other dream creators. They might be hiding among us, so it's even harder to find them. Justin, yeah, my master said that our time is limited. If we can't find them, we're done for. Also, those 2 dream creators must know about Lynn and Liz's deaths. They might hide even deeper and stab us in the back, so we have to be very careful from now on. Jack, do you have any good ideas? Justin, of course we're going to gather everyone and live together. South Hill Manor is huge, so I suggest we all move to your place. If we spend time with each other, the dream creator will definitely reveal some flaws. Jack, that's a good idea, but it's also very dangerous. If we live under the same roof as the dream creator, our lives will be in danger at all times. Justin, that's why we need to keep a close eye on him. Once he makes a move, his identity will be exposed. Jack, sure, I agree. I'll discuss it with Chloe later. Justin, just take good care of Chloe and stay close to her. Leave everything else to me. After Jack and Justin contacted each other, the 2 men decided to live together. Only under the same roof would they know who was human and who was the culprit, inside Justin's personal villa. When Anne came back from grocery shopping, he saw a shocking scene. His goddess, Fiona, was wearing a white cotton nightgown with long black hair. She was eating at the dining table with a stunning face. There was only one plate of egg-fried rice on the dining table. Justin sat across from Fiona. What were they talking about? "Goddess Fiona, you're awake. Ha ha, that's great." And was so excited that he almost threw the vegetables in his hand away. "You're back?" Fiona smiled. When the goddess smiled, Anne felt like all the flowers in the world had bloomed. "Hey, you've just recovered from a serious illness. How can you only eat egg-fried rice? It's so unhealthy." Anne quickly took the plate away. "But your boss only knows how to make this." Fiona looked at Justin with a look of blame. "Miss Wagner, it's good enough to have egg-fried rice. Even your sister hasn't eaten my egg-fried rice." Justin rolled his eyes at Fiona and told her to be content. No, you can't eat this. It's not nutritious." Anne shook his head. "Young Master Anne, this is in a dream. You can't even tell what it tastes like even if you eat shit. What's the point of being so insistent?" Justin couldn't hold back his laughter. "Justin, don't you think that you are disgusting?" Fiona glared at Justin. "I don't care if it's a dream or reality. My goddess Fiona must eat well. Give me a few minutes. I'll make you some noodles." Then, Anne removed Fiona's egg-fried rice and rushed into the kitchen with the groceries he had bought. However, from the way Justin talked to Fiona, he could tell that he had told her everything. Fiona had missed a lot of things while she was unconscious. Now, Lynn was dead, and so was the second dream creator. According to Master Thorin, there were only 2 dream creators left. They had strength in numbers. This should not be a difficult task. "Justin, where's my sister? Is she okay?" Fiona asked. "Chloe's in a good mental state, and the baby is fine. It's just that she's in a dream, and her sense of time is messed up. That's why she hasn't given birth yet. But in the real world, she's not due yet." Fiona nodded without saying anything. Fiona's phone rang. She stood up and walked to the balcony to answer the call. It was either Jack, the professor, or Riker. Justin went into the kitchen and watched and busy himself. "And don't put so much effort into her. She can't be with you. Not only does she have a fiancé, even if she didn't, she's not a woman you can control." "Boss, did you contact Miss Melody in the real world?" Justin froze. "No." "Did you contact Miss Melody in the dream?" "No," Justin said. "Then everything that Miss Melody confessed to you before was just a dream. Miss Melody didn't enter the dream, so what she said in the dream was fake." "That's right," Justin nodded. "But whether it's in the dream or in the real world, it doesn't change the fact that Miss Melody likes you." And cleverly avoided Justin's question and threw him a difficult question instead. Cough, cough. Anne's straightforwardness about Melody liking Justin made Justin feel a little awkward, even in the dream. "So, boss, what are your plans when you get back?" And didn't know that Justin couldn't go back, so he was still thinking about his future. "I don't have any plans," Justin replied half-heartedly. "Boss, you can't do this. You're already in your 30s. How can you not get married and have kids? You're letting Grandpa Cooper and the others down." "And your noodles are almost cooked." Anne was interrupted by Justin's reminder. He quickly continued to prepare the nutritious vegetable noodles for his goddess. Then, Anne walked out with the freshly cooked noodles. Justin knew that Anne liked Fiona and knew that it was impossible for anything to happen between them. However, since Anne was willing, it meant that he enjoyed every minute he spent with Fiona. How could Justin, the boss, not give his blessings? Therefore, Justin took the opportunity to go upstairs and left the dining hall on the first floor to Anne and Fiona. Perhaps it was because Fiona had just woken up. Her face was a little pale. However, it still couldn't conceal her stunning beauty. She was wearing a nightgown that Justin had found at home. Of course, he knew they were in the dream. As long as you want something here and think of it, it will appear. Therefore, when Elsie lived here for a short period of time, he thought that she had left some clothes for Fiona. "Goddess Fiona, it's time to eat. You can just call me Fiona. I'm not a goddess, more like a murderer." Fiona smiled. Every time Anne saw Fiona smile, he felt sweet inside. He then placed a large bowl of noodles on the table. He also prepared 2 plates of pickled vegetables. It was a perfect match. "Did you cook this?" Fiona looked at the noodles in surprise. Although it was hot soup noodles, it looked delicious. I only added some vegetables and fried an egg on it, but this is in a dream. My boss said that no matter how delicious the food is, you won't be able to taste anything. So, you'll have to suffer for now. Don't listen to Justin's nonsense. He can't taste because his taste buds are problematic. Everything I eat tastes good. Then, Fiona lowered her head and started eating her noodles. She looked extremely valiant and did not look like she was holding anything. She would never act like an influencer, as she was afraid that others would think that she did not look good from any angle. Fiona was a woman, but she had lived like a man all these years. This was what An admired the most about Fiona. Goddess Fiona, you've always been my #1 idol. "Ha, so who's your #2 idol?" Fiona asked as she ate. "Of course it's my boss." "Oh, right. There's also President Dawson and Chloe. The three of them are ranked second in my heart." "What do you admire about them?" Fiona's questions were always sharp. "For my boss, I've been with him for many years. I know all the good things about him, and I agree with his morals. President Dawson and President Green are too smart and have a high IQ. They're quick to react to things and are way ahead of us. Ha, you guys are like gods, not people like me who can only chase after." Don't think so badly of yourself. In this world, there will never be two identical leaves, so no matter what you do, you will always be the one and only you. Fiona's words were always sweet and sincere, making an extremely pumped up. Goddess Fiona, are you satisfied with your current lifestyle? Do you feel proud that you're the top goddess in the mercenary world? An took the chance to interview his goddess. After hearing An's words, Fiona thought about it seriously. Then, she held the chopsticks in her mouth and looked up at the ceiling at a 45-degree angle, thinking seriously for a while. Then, she said in an extremely serious tone, "To be honest, I wanted to live my life as the woman in a boss's heart, but I didn't expect to live as a big boss in all the women's hearts." And, haha. Usually when Fiona wasn't in the mood to kill, she was always in a funny state, and suddenly remembered that Fiona had come to the city for a walk. Then, she followed him everywhere and caused a lot of trouble. Fiona had taken care of many gangsters. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that it was suitable for her to use such a funny internet description to describe herself. "What are you laughing at? I'm serious." Fiona looked at An. "You're right. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't you think that the woman in a boss's heart is just like a clingy puppet? Wouldn't being a big boss in all the women's hearts allow you to be the ultimate winner?" An began to suck up to her. "What's the use of being a winner? Even when you're being chased by people, you're just pissing your pants. It's useless. On the surface, you'll never be truly glorious. But in reality, if you're like my sister, living a normal life, working in the hospital, treating patients, these are truly valuable people, whereas I'm just a killing machine." After speaking, Fiona smiled casually. "I'm sorry, goddess, I hurt you," and blamed himself. "Don't say these useless things to me. I've been as big-hearted as a pumpkin all these years. I don't care what you say. I'm just being sentimental. Don't overthink it." "Yeah, eat while it's hot. There's still more if it's not enough." An felt like being able to sit across from Fiona and watch his goddess eat could really be described with 5 words: a feast for the eyes. If Goddess Fiona lived here all the time, how much— Of course, he could only think about this himself. He thought that since Fiona had just woken up, she would still stay for the night and rest. Unexpectedly, in the evening, Riker arrived in a black Maybach S680 with only 2 subordinates. He was much more low-key than before. Although Riker hadn't returned to the family and hadn't officially taken over the family head position, over the years, he had nurtured many factions and trusted aides in the family. He was still in a navy blue Russian military uniform. The front 2 rows of buttons were all made of platinum and looked extremely luxurious. His silver hair was always so striking in the dark. Justin didn't receive any notice when Riker arrived. Fiona didn't seem to know either. So when she saw Riker standing in the living room, Fiona froze. She was wearing a white nightdress and holding a cup with cartoon characters printed on it. She was about to go to the water dispenser to get some water. However, before she reached the water dispenser, she saw Riker standing at the door. At that moment, their eyes met. There seemed to be 1,000 things to say. Fiona was about to speak when Riker strode over. He hugged Fiona tightly. "Fiona, it's so nice to see you again." Riker's personality was similar to Jack's. He didn't like to express himself. He wasn't good at sweet-talking, but he could prove it with actions. So it was obvious that he had been holding it in for a long time. God knew how long he had been looking for Fiona. He had almost searched the entire Earth. "How did you know I was here?" Fiona reached out and hugged Riker's waist in a slightly coquettish manner. "Brother-in-law told me. Brother-in-law's mouth is really big." Fiona smiled as she hugged Riker, feeling warm inside. At this moment, Anne walked down the stairs and said, "Goddess Fiona, if you're hungry tonight, tell me. I'll cook you some noodles. Don't you like spicy food? The noodles are so spicy that you will definitely doubt your life." Anne stopped abruptly before he could finish. Because he saw his goddess in someone's arms, the situation was awkward. Fiona quickly pushed Riker away, feeling a little embarrassed. This is Riker," Fiona said. "Yeah, I know. The goddess's fiancé," and smiled and scratched his head. "Thank you for taking care of Fiona." Riker nodded to show his gratitude. "You're welcome. Dr. Green and I are very close. Goddess Fiona is Dr. Green's sister, and she's my idol. I have to take good care of her." "Where's Justin?" Fiona asked. "My boss went out. He's been acting all mysterious lately. I don't know where he went. He didn't say anything." "Ah, tell him when he comes back. I'll go to my sister's place first." "Okay. Let's go." Fiona glanced at Riker. Riker picked her up in his arms. Then, he carried her out the door. Actually, Fiona knew that Riker didn't act lovey-dovey in front of Anne on purpose. He must have known that Fiona had just woken up and was still recovering, so he did this. However, when Anne saw this, he felt really bad. Although he knew that he was nothing at all. He didn't even have the right to have a crush on her, but he still felt terrible. It was an indescribable feeling. Fiona was carried away by Riker just like that. Anne was especially sad when he was packing up alone, especially when he looked at the bed that Fiona had slept on. It was a touching scene. Therefore, when Justin came back, he saw Anne drinking beer and watching TV. He was not in the mood to watch what was happening on TV. He was just venting his frustration. "Hey, why didn't you invite me to drink?" Justin teased. "Let's drink together, boss." "Aren't you going to call Fiona? I heard she won't get drunk." "She's already gone." Anne was disappointed to hear Fiona's name. "No wonder you look so dejected." "Fine, I'll drink with you then." Justin sat down next to Anne. "And you and Fiona aren't the same kind of people after all. You can't keep her. It's normal for her to leave. Even Chloe can't keep her, let alone us." Justin wanted to comfort Anne and make him feel better. "I know, boss, I know. I just feel a little empty inside." "Then I'll drink with you. Tomorrow morning, we'll pack up and move to South Hill Manor." "Huh? We're moving to South Hill Manor?" Anne was surprised. "That's right. We should move over and live together so that we can observe who the hidden dream creator is. This is a serious matter." In the dream, Justin reminded himself of the purpose of his return. Finding all the dream creators and killing them was his only goal. "Yeah, I think that's fine," Anne smiled. "Of course you have to agree. If we stay at South Hill Manor, you'll be able to see Fiona again, right?" Justin immediately saw through the kid's thoughts. At South Hill Manor, Fiona's arrival caused the atmosphere to reach its peak. "Sis, brother-in-law, Dad, I'm back," Fiona said as soon as she walked in. "Sis, brother-in-law, Uncle Wagner," Riker greeted politely. Riker wanted to talk to Legend and the others to convince them to work together to find Fiona. Later, he received a call from Jack, asking him to go to the North Pole together. But halfway through, he was chased by an unknown person and did not manage to meet up. He was forced to land in Kenya, where he spent the rest of his time dealing with gangsters and drug dealers. After everyone returned, Jack contacted Riker and told him that Fiona was awake. Riker rushed back and finally reached the city in the evening. Over the phone, Jack briefly told Riker about the dream. In the car, Fiona told him about it in detail. Therefore, Riker knew about the dream creators and the incubus. Although the twins were made up, they did exist. However, because they were still in the States on vacation with Max and Avery, they hadn't returned yet. So, the South Hill Manor only had 5 of them. Justin and Jack then informed Brenton, Victoria, Noah, Sarah, Rick, and Cece, respectively. They planned to gather at South Hill Manor the next morning and spend a few days together before finding the real dream creator. Justin and Jack both thought that the dream creators were among them. After all, there were no newcomers who had joined. Liz and Granny were dead. Lynn, Messiah, Layla, and the monsters created by Lynn had all disappeared. At the dining table of South Hill Manor, the professor placed everyone's plates on the table and served their food. There was wheat toast, German white sausage, roasted pork shoulder, and vegetable salad. The drinks were soda water. It seemed that the top professor in the field of medicine was indeed concerned about maintaining health. It's really not easy to eat something that Dad made personally. Even in the dream, I have to eat a little more. Ha ha. Fiona held the fork excitedly. You really don't lose out. You even took advantage of me in the dream. The professor smiled dotingly. Actually, it's good to be in a dream. If not for this dream, my sister and I would not have had so much time with you. So from another perspective, I am quite grateful to the dream creator for giving the three of us a good time together. There was nothing wrong with Fiona's words, but upon closer inspection, it was indeed heartbreaking. Daughters and fathers should have an intimate relationship, but sometimes Fiona couldn't even see her father for years because of her special status. Therefore, at times like these, Chloe would feel bad for her sister. She picked up a piece of kiwi and placed it on Fiona's plate. Fiona, you've just recovered from a serious illness. Take care of yourself and eat more nutritious food. Sis, you're acting up again. This is a dream. There's no point in me eating sea cucumbers and abalones every day. Haha. Look at my memory. No wonder they say that pregnant women stay foolish for 3 years. Chloe slapped her forehead and laughed at herself. It's okay, honey. I'll be foolish with you. Mr. Dawson put his arm around Chloe's shoulder to comfort her. Hey, every time you two show off your love, you go overboard. If I were single, you guys would torture me to death. Luckily, I'm not. After Fiona finished speaking, she happily moved closer to Riker. Uncle Wagner, sis, brother-in-law. After we escape from the dream, I want to marry Fiona. Riker's proposal came without warning. Everyone was stunned. Riker's sudden words stunned everyone. Cough, cough, cough. Damn, you sure know how to pick an occasion when you propose. We are experiencing a dangerous situation now. Fiona secretly kicked Riker from under the table. I know. It's exactly because of this that I want to get married. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't have another chance. Professor Wagner smiled after hearing Riker say that. Riker, have you thought it through? Are you really going to marry our demoness? Hey, Dad. No father would call his daughter a demoness. Watch your words, Fiona reminded him angrily. I've thought about it. I've thought about it for years. Fiona is the only wife I've ever wanted, Riker said firmly. Fiona, what do you think? The professor asked. Of course I'm at a disadvantage. He's not as good-looking as me and doesn't have as much money as me. He doesn't have as many people as I do either. He doesn't even kill as many people as I do. His status in the martial arts world isn't as high as mine either. In short, I'm better than him in everything. If he marries me, I'll offer him my blessings. Yes, it's my honor to marry you. So, Miss Fiona, are you willing to marry me? Riker tilted his head and smiled at Fiona. Fiona was moved by his gentleness. Fiona, Riker proposed to you so seriously, so you should give him an answer. Chloe was anxious at the side. Why are you in such a hurry, sis? I need to calm down at such a moment. Plus, he just opened his mouth and proposed casually. How can I be so easygoing? Fiona had always been domineering and had bullied Riker for so many years. Therefore, it did not seem strange for her to say such things now. Jack put his arm around Chloe's shoulder and looked at Riker sympathetically. He thought, luckily my wife is gentle and open-minded. If Chloe was like Fiona, things would be difficult. What else do you want? Riker asked with a smile. Aren't proposals supposed to be done on one knee? Fiona raised her chin. Riker immediately stood up and knelt down on one knee. Fiona, don't go too far. If you make things difficult for Riker and he runs away, you won't be able to get married. The professor scared her. Fiona, on the other hand, was proud of herself. Nah, Dad. Riker can only marry me and only dare to marry me. Otherwise, I'll hunt him down from all over the world. You're indeed a female hooligan. You're even so domineering towards your man. Chloe smiled. Sis, you can't slander me. Fine, I won't defame you. After all, you're already bad enough. You won't be able to clear your name for the rest of your life. Chloe tilted her head and leaned against Jack as she watched Riker and Fiona bicker. Can you guys stop fighting and take care of me, who is still kneeling? Riker interjected. Chloe and Jack both laughed. The professor also shook his head as he watched these kids fool around. What's the point of kneeling? It's not like there are any flowers. Fiona rolled her eyes at Riker and continued to make things difficult for him. Flowers? I do have them. After speaking, Riker suddenly produced a rose in his hand as if he was performing magic. Fiona was pleasantly surprised. Before anyone could say anything, Riker said shyly, I didn't have time to buy them, so I took Sister's flowers. Fiona blushed as she took the roses. She coughed and raised her voice. Then, where's my ring? Everyone could tell that Fiona was deliberately making things difficult for him. However, Riker was willing to let her make things difficult for him. She thought that the ring was not prepared in time. Unexpectedly, Riker took out a small red velvet box from his pocket. Then, he slowly opened it in front of everyone. What else could it be but a diamond ring? The size of the diamond was enough to buy a luxurious villa in this city. Under the illumination of the lights, it was very dazzling. Damn, where did you get this? Did you buy it from a roadside stall? Fiona's jaw dropped. I never buy jewelry from roadside stalls. Fiona didn't expect Riker to answer so seriously. Damn, did you borrow this from my sister and brother-in-law? Fiona asked. No, this ring was made by a famous craftsman when I was in Italy. While I was looking for you, I carried it with me. I thought that if I found you one day, I would propose to you. Isn't it my chance now? Honestly, everyone knew what kind of person Riker was. These are the winners of our Best of Beauty Breakthrough Awards. This kid never knew how to talk glibly or coax girls. It was precisely because of this that every word he said carried great weight. Fiona was really touched. Looking at the ring, she felt as if something was about to fall out of her eyes. You have the flowers and the ring too. Fiona, can you agree to my proposal now? I'll think about it. Fiona raised her head, afraid that she might cry and embarrass herself in front of her family. So she pretended to look up at the ceiling and consider. Ouch! My knees hurt from kneeling. No, I'm getting up. Riker pretended to get up, but she was scolded by Fiona. Don't get up. Why? You're not going to agree anyway. It doesn't matter what I do. Then why am I still kneeling? Even though you said you are thinking about it, aren't you actually thinking about how to reject me? Forget it. I'll go back to Russia after this meal. Damn, I agree, okay? Fiona couldn't stay still anymore. In a moment of desperation, she agreed to his proposal. Huh, you really agreed? Yeah, really. Everyone heard it. Uncle Wagner, sis, brother-in-law, you're all important witnesses. You have to testify for me. I'm just afraid that Fiona will go back on her word. That won't happen. We can testify for you, Chloe smiled. Riker stood up excitedly and gave Fiona the diamond ring. This meal was especially meaningful. After dinner, the professor went to the study room. It was unknown what he was researching, and he didn't tell anyone, so no one dared to ask. Riker and Fiona went for a walk in the backyard. On the other hand, Jack and Chloe sat in the loft on the top floor, looking at the starry night sky as they chatted. Honey, why do I feel like it's been a long time since I've quietly watched the stars with you? Yeah. Although Justin said that we didn't spend a day apart in the real world, we've been apart for almost 2 months in the dream. I almost couldn't endure anymore. Don't talk nonsense. How can we not endure it? We've been through so much together. Didn't we both make it through in the end? Yes, nothing can stump us. Jack gently kissed Chloe's head, giving his wife the greatest amount of gentleness. Honey? Yeah? Are the kids coming back tomorrow with Max? Chloe suddenly asked. Honey, have you forgotten that the children are not real? Yes, even if they are fake, I still want to see them. I miss my children so much. Chloe curled up in Jack's arms and whined pitifully. It's good to meet them. I didn't plan on not letting them come back. Really? Chloe was happy to hear that the twins were going to return, but when she turned around, she immediately realized. Leaning against Jack's chest, she quietly said, "Honey, if you let them come back, are you going to include them as suspects for the dream creators?" Yes. Jack was never one to lie. Even though he knew that Chloe would be sad to hear this answer, he still admitted it. As expected, Chloe's eyes dimmed upon hearing this. "Honey, I know your analysis is correct. It's going to be very difficult to find the other 2 dream creators in our group. I think that since the 2 dream creators have not been discovered after entering the dream for so long, they must have hidden themselves very well and are very similar to the original characters. If we want to find them, we have to start with the fictional ones. Justin saw our daughters in the real world, so Pudding and Little Bean are definitely not real. They might be fictional, or the dream creators." "Yes," Jack nodded. "Don't worry, honey. They're not real Pudding and Little Bean. Once I find out they're dream creators, I'll get rid of them too." Chloe steeled her heart. She didn't want to be soft-hearted at a time like this. Everyone's lives were hanging by a thread. Although they had already killed 2, they did not have much time left. "Chloe, after you came back, did you talk to Justin alone?" "No, why? Are you jealous?" Chloe smiled. She rubbed her cheek against Mr. Dawson's nose. "No, I just find Justin a little weird." "What? Do you suspect him?" Chloe was surprised. She didn't expect Jack to say that Justin was weird. "I'm not suspecting him. I just have a feeling that Justin is hiding something from us. Of course, it's definitely not something that's bad for us. I have a feeling that Justin's return this time isn't that simple. Of course, I'm not doubting his character, and he won't hurt us either. This isn't, on the other hand." Jack's intuition was accurate, but he was still unsure, so he didn't dare to guess further. "I understand." Chloe was smart enough to understand what Jack meant. "I'll talk to Justin alone when everyone gets here tomorrow." "Fine. Talk to him. Tell him if there's any trouble, we'll all face it together, and not to do anything stupid alone." "Okay, I will." The night passed quietly in the dream. The next morning, Justin brought everyone to South Hill Manor on time. Apart from Max and Avery, who were on a later flight with the twins, everyone else arrived. Sarah was exceptionally enthusiastic when she saw Chloe. She pounced on Chloe and wrapped her arms around her neck. "Mom, be careful. Auntie Chloe is pregnant," Ethan reminded her quietly. "Ha ha, you little brat. Are you worried about your mother-in-law? Are you worried about your future brother-in-law and her stomach?" "Uncle Jack, when are Pudding and Little Bean coming back?" "My Ethan misses Little Bean so much that he is about to see through the autumn waters." Noah patted Ethan's head and smiled at Jack. "Tonight's flight." Little Bean and Pudding weren't real, and not many people knew about it. They didn't tell everyone about it in case they felt uncomfortable. In the real world, Rick's wife, Cece, hadn't given birth yet. But in the dream, she had already given birth to a daughter and even named her Little Jin. Justin didn't have the heart to tell them all of this. Aside from the dream and the dream creators, Justin and Jack didn't mention anything else. "From today onwards, everyone will be living together. If there are any difficulties, we will face them together and strive to go back earlier." "Hey, there's one less person," Victoria reminded everyone after looking around. "Who?" Sarah didn't seem to have found the missing person. Everyone knew that Max and Avery would be back with Jack's parents and daughters that night. "Thomas, Stella, and Auntie Sandra," Victoria said. As expected of a doctor in psychology, she was very meticulous. The people that Victoria mentioned were really not there. "Ah, Stella hasn't woken up yet." Thomas was worried, so he stayed with her at the hospital. "As for my mom, she hasn't been feeling well recently, so my husband hired an auntie to take care of her. He's planning to pick her up when the kids come back later," Chloe explained. That's good." Victoria nodded. Actually, Thomas, Stella, and Sandra didn't come. There was only one reason. Justin didn't have time to interact with these 3 people in the real world. Therefore, he wasn't sure if the 3 of them had entered the dream or if they were still in the real world. This meant that the 3 of them were highly suspicious. They could be dream creators or they could be fabricated. It was more likely that the main body had entered the dream. The uncertainty was too great, so Jack decided to separate the three of them and observe them carefully. "Since everyone's here, let's get some food ready. We'll have a good lunch," Chloe said, and then she ordered everyone to get to work. Jack and Rick were talking in the study. Cece was carrying the baby and watching TV on the living room couch. Ethan and Kenneth were playing around the house. The others were busy washing the vegetables and cooking while the professor went out for some fresh air. Fiona and Riker were playing close combat on the hillside of the manor. No other couple would be as bored as them. It was quite interesting to actually play close combat. "You've met Legend and Reeves, those two psychos. Do you think they're the dream creators?" Fiona asked Riker. Riker shook his head. "Brother-in-law said that the dream creator will disguise themselves among us. Legend and Reeves are probably not real people, and the possibility of luring them into a dream isn't high. After all, they're from somewhere far away." Fiona nodded and wrapped a red band around her hand. "It's been a long time since I last practiced. My body feels really tight. Come and work out some muscles with me." "Yes, my queen." In front of the gate, Chloe was watering the lawn with a spraying can. Justin hurried over and grabbed the spraying can. "Oh my God, what time is it? You're already like this. Why are you still watering? Give it to me. Go rest." "It's not that serious. I'm just pregnant. I'm not seriously ill." Chloe laughed. "That won't do either. Be good and rest at the side. What do you want to do? Let me do it." "Justin, how did you come back this time?" Chloe asked from behind Justin. "My master sent me in. Didn't I tell you? I acknowledged a master." "Then you came back so easily? You didn't have to pay any price?" Chloe probed. "That's weird. Why would you ask that? My master is so powerful. He's not a weakling. Do you think my master is some kind of money swindler? Who have I ever admired in my life? If my master was not truly capable, would I have believed him and kowtowed to him?" "So?" Chloe looked into Justin's eyes, trying to find a flaw in his pretense. "That's why I came back so smoothly. To my master, these are all trivial matters." "If it's a small matter, why didn't your master come to the dream and help us find the dream creators? Why do we have to find ourselves?" Chloe's logical thinking was always very strong, so she asked a very sharp question. Justin stopped watering and placed the spraying can on the ground. Then he smiled and replied, "I have asked my master the same question. However, my master said that the dream creator did not pull him into the dream world. If he forcibly breaks in, it will take some time. If the dream creator attacks you guys, it will be too late. That is why I came back to tell everyone the truth about the incubus." "Other than that, are you hiding anything from us?" "I have one more amulet and one more prayer bead than others. Does that count?" Justin smiled cheekily. "You know that's not what I'm talking about. There's really nothing else. Swear that you didn't lie to me." Chloe was never a forceful person, but for Justin to speak the truth, she even used such an old-fashioned way of swearing. "I swear that I didn't lie to you. If I did, I would—" Before Justin could finish, Chloe interrupted him again. Of course, she didn't really want Justin to swear, so she didn't want him to say anything inauspicious. Okay, stop. I believe you. Dr. Green, don't you know what kind of person I am? Why are you so suspicious of me?" Justin smiled as he approached Chloe. The truth was, every time Justin looked at her seriously, he would feel happiness flowing through his heart. Chloe wasn't used to Justin looking at her from such a close distance. She felt a little embarrassed. "I know you too well. That's why I was afraid that you were hiding something from us on purpose, and foolishly not say anything while carrying it all on your own. We are a team. We don't need any individual hero. We just want everyone to get out safely. We can't do without anyone. Understand?" I know, Dr. Green. After you got pregnant, you really started to become naggy. You still dare to complain about me?" Chloe picked up a leaf and threw it at Justin's head. Then she couldn't help but sigh. Actually, being in the dream is pretty good. In the real world, it's probably still winter. How can I see so many flowers and plants? I only have what I want in the dream. Why? You can't bear to leave? How could that be? I can't wait to get out of here. I don't want to stay a second longer. Of course. Jack and I will come up with a plan tonight. We'll figure out how to find the other two dream creators and take them down. Yeah, I am relieved to know that two of you are doing that. Chloe nodded and rubbed her stomach out of habit. I really wish I could see this little guy sooner. Haha, after all, he has been through so much with his mother. Justin was half joking. When he comes out, will you be his godfather? Chloe suddenly asked. Thanks for tuning in to the Cool Audio Podcast. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow story lover. Until next time, stay cool and keep listening.